With Super Bowl 56 coming up in just a few weeks, and though the Packers didn't make it into the Super Bowl, I thought as a treat to you guys, I'll share my top 10 favorite football games ever. Now, I normally don't play a lot of sports games, in particular, especially football games. I'm not too fond of a lot of Madden games, but I thought I would just lighten the load a little bit and share some new things on my channel. First on the list, we have NFL Extreme on the PlayStation 1. Now, originally, when I first played this game, I actually played it on a Pizza Hut demo disc back in the day when PlayStation promoted their brand a lot through sponsorships. So I thought it was actually pretty cool playing this, and I thought it was very fun. Now, little did I know that this was actually to be a competitor towards the NFL Blitz games that were very popular in the arcades and on the home console ports. I guess a significant part of playing this game is that you really don't have to worry about winning the game most of the time. Majority of the time when I find myself playing this game, I'm not looking to win. I'm just looking to bash my opponent's skull in and throw him across the field. It's very enjoyable. It's a nice time waster to play. If you're really serious about winning in the game, go ahead and put your skills to the test. But I think you'll get more enjoyment out of playing this, just like Blitz, where you're just pummeling the hell out of your opponent. Next up on the list, we have NFL Street. Now, I personally love this game a lot, and the reason why is because the target audience doesn't just appeal to sports fans, it appeals to all gamers in general. And keep in mind, I'm not much of a guy that plays sports games a lot nowadays, but even people who don't really play Madden like that, they got a lot of enjoyment out of this game. And I really like the fact that EA used to make games like this, including NBA Street, to appeal to that certain audience, to get everyone wound in to play this. But obviously, they don't make these anymore, sadly. But I would like for them to come out with a new one in the future with the same urban appearance like it was before, with not as many rules. There's no secret that Tecmo Bowl was going to be making this list. Now, I didn't play the NES version of the game like everyone else did. That one is very common within the community, but I did not play it like that growing up, sadly. I only played the arcade port version of the game at our local Chuck E. Cheese's or arcades, so that's what I'm very familiar with playing it 4 players with other people. So I love this game a lot. Obviously, if you want to play this, you can check out the re-releases of the game with actual NFL licenses in it, and I'm referring to the arcade ports as well. So yeah, give it a go. Tell me what you think. You will never hear me talking about any Madden games whatsoever on my channel. However, Madden 95 on the Sega Genesis still blows me away. Every time I load that cartridge in and I hear that NFL on Fox Sports theme in the beginning, along with John Madden talking in the cutscene, even though those cutscenes didn't age too well during this time. You get psyched up, you get hyped up when playing. You hear the sounds have improved over time from the previous games. You see the new rules and the new plays, and you just want to play more and more. Obviously, I always chose my team, the Green Bay Packers, and I never won any games. I only won like a handful, actually. But most of the time, I always found myself getting my ass handed to by the Buccaneers. NFL Extreme 2 actually holds a special place in my heart. Now, this one wasn't too well received when it came out because a lot of people complained that it felt like a carbon copy of NFL Extreme 1 on the PlayStation 1. This was actually the last one of the series that was to compete against the NFL Blitz games. Now, compared to the Blitz games with NFL Extreme, on Blitz, you could actually, there was actually rules and plays. With NFL Extreme, it was actually about beating the shit out of your opponents as much as you could, and I think a lot of people kind of got tired of that fast, and it was very repetitive. It was kind of like Road Rash 64 to me. I only get excitement beating the hell out of my teammates instead of winning the races, but like I said before, it's still a great game to play. Don't let people downplay it. It's very affordable to get if you want to buy the actual game, or you can also emulate as well. But don't sleep on this one. Just when Tecmo showed out with the original Tecmo Bowl, they said let's take it a step further with Tecmo's Super Bowl on the Super NES, and I will say that this is the greatest port of the game you could ever play. As soon as you load in that 16-bit cartridge and you start seeing those color schemes, you start seeing all the team colors with the logos and the players and the colors of the jerseys, you just psyched out and amazed right away when playing. It's one of those sports games that you could just get addicted to playing in within a few minutes, and you'll just keep wanting more and more. I remember I spent the whole day in the house playing this game, and I didn't realize it until it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But this is one of the greatest football games to ever play ever. Please don't sleep on this one either. Check this one out. If you're a fan of the original Tecmo Bowl, or you play the current ones on your Switch or iOS or other mobile devices, please give this one a go. I encourage you. You can also check this out on emulators as well. 2004 was such an awesome year for the original Xbox, and as I recall, it just wasn't a Halo 2 multiplayer I was playing online. I was also playing a lot of NFL Fever 2004 as well. I am still amazed by this game to this day forward, and I wish that Xbox and Microsoft would release more of these in the future. These were very dedicated games, and I felt like when Microsoft had that NFL license and they were coming out with these, they were doing their own kind of thing, and it wasn't just as limited as Madden. But maybe I might be too opinionated and biased when saying that, but I really like these a lot, and I think if they brought these back, I think a lot of people would be playing these online a lot more, and the sales would probably go up for a lot of football games nowadays. Blitz League 2 was actually hard for me to rank on this list because of the actual hardship, injuries, and pain that football players actually go through. However, I have to remind myself that it's just a video game and is there for entertainment purposes only, so this is nothing to be emulated at all whatsoever. If you're looking for a game where you just obviously are violent and you're hurting your opponents and injuring them, you'll get in-depth detail with this. If you're hurt in the game, you'll be injected with special drugs. I'm not going to say them in particular, but it's a very hardcore game if you're down to play it. I think a lot of people played this game. I know a lot of people weren't really familiar with the league games as much because of them losing off on the NFL license, and I can obviously see why these games no longer had the NFL license afterwards. But as I said before, very fun game to play if you're just looking to kill some time and just beat the hell out of your opponents. Exclusively released for the Nintendo 64, NFL Quarterback Club 99, it was one of the greatest football games ever released on the platform. Not only did you have great commentary, you also had great graphics, controls, and animations as well. On top of it, they had Brett Favre on the front cover of the game when he was the quarterback for the Packers at the time. You get access to everyone from the 1999 season, and Peyton Manning makes his first appearance in the game, as well as Ryan Leaf. I will say though that the downfall of this game was that there was a glitch that you could actually cheat within the game, and I don't want to tell no one how to do it, but if you have some time to look on the internet, you could learn how to do it if you're playing a friend and you want to decide to pull a fast one on them. But it was commonly pulled on me whenever I played with my cousins, and I kind of got annoyed with playing the game at the time. But going back and playing it is very enjoyable to play. But if you feel like cheating with that glitch, have at it. You're just not going to get it from me. I'm very positive that NFL Blitz is pretty common, just as much as Tecmo Bowl is within the community. NFL Blitz remains timeless because it was one of the first games that introduced the aggressiveness and the violence from both your teammates and the opponents. Not only was there wrestling moves in the game, there was also the over-showboating and the celebration of the characters. And on top of it, once they did it, you could attack them afterwards when they did it. So one thing I loved about it is that there really wasn't any timeouts in the game. However, it did stick to the orthodox way of playing football as well, though it was cartoony. But I don't think that the NFL would have wanted to keep their licenses under this game, games like these for long. And I can understand why EA went ahead and eventually won them out from the Midway. For my number one pick, I went ahead and chose NFL 2K2 on the Sega Dreamcast. Now, this is actually around the time when Sega was publishing their own first-party sports games under the NFL license. Making a long story short, Electronic Arts went ahead and cut ties with Sega after the premature launch of the Sega Saturn. That's why you didn't see any EA games at all on the Sega Dreamcast, which only pushed Sega to publish their first-party sports games, and I personally felt like they were a lot better than EA games at the time. But this didn't last long though, because the Dreamcast went under and Sega opted to go ahead and become a third-party publisher, and this game was only a timed exclusive because it was released on the Xbox and the PlayStation 2 within the following year. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play this game online because my cousin didn't own it and I didn't own a Dreamcast. The only games I recall playing on Dreamcast was Phantasy Star Online, so sadly we didn't get a chance to play it. But as I said before, Sega produced great first-party sports games in this era. That is my top 10 favorite football games. Please tell me in the comments below what your top 10 favorite football games are. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell for more awesome content in the future. Tell me what you think about the video. This is Drex, and I am out.